All right, so today we're going to dive into something that you're going to use constantly in your coding journey.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that is if statements,
Okay.
elif statements,
Right.
and those super helpful helper functions.
Love it.
You've already gotten your feet wet with basic if statements.
Yeah.
But today we're going like way deeper.
Awesome.
Like think of this as leveling up your coding skills.
Okay.
So imagine that you are making a game.
All right.
And when you click in different zones on the screen,
Yeah.
different things happen.
Makes sense.
That's where elif comes in.
Elif is really cool because it lets you create these branching paths in your code,
Yeah,
almost like a choose your own adventure.
I like that.
So instead of just having one condition
Right.
and one outcome,
Yeah.
you can have a whole series of possibilities,
Yeah.
each with its own unique result.
So we have this really cool example from a CMU Computer Science Academy course.
Nice.
And they actually use visuals
Yeah,
to show how elif works.
I like that.
So instead of just lines of code,
Yeah.
we can actually see shapes and colors changing on the screen
Cool.
based on where we click.
I think that's a brilliant way to visualize the logic.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to understand it in theory,
Right.
but actually seeing it in action like that,
Totally.
it makes it click.
Yeah. So in this example, the screen is divided up into sections.
Oh, okay.
And if you click on the left side of the screen, it draws a cyan circle.
All right.
But then it gets interesting
Okay.
because they use an elif statement to say, hey, if the click wasn't on the left,
Right.
is it in the middle?
Okay.
Okay, draw a black ring.
Makes sense.
And if it's not on the left or the middle,
Yeah.
a final else statement swoops in and says,
Okay.
all right, it must be on the right.
Got it.
Let's draw a gold circle.
So the key here is that each elif
Yeah.
acts like a backup plan.
Okay.
It only gets checked if all the conditions before it have failed.
Right.
Think about it like this. If you're trying to decide what to wear,
Mm-hmm.
you might first check if it's snowing.
Right.
If it is,
Yeah.
you grab your warmest jacket.
Makes sense.
But if it's not snowing,
Right.
then you check if it's raining.
Okay.
If it is, you grab an umbrella.
Gotcha.
And finally, if neither of those is true,
Yeah.
you might just put on a t-shirt and head out the door.
That's a perfect analogy. I can already see how this is way more powerful
Right.
than just using a bunch of separate if statements.
Exactly.
So what would happen if we tried to code that weather scenario,
Okay.
but we only used if statements?
Well, you might end up looking pretty silly.
Okay.
You could end up wearing a jacket, carrying an umbrella,
Yeah.
and sweating in a t-shirt
Yeah.
all at the same time.
So elif is more efficient.
Much more.
Yeah, because each if would be evaluated independently
Right.
without considering the other if statement.
Exactly.
So it's like each elif is saying,
Yeah.
hold on, let me check this other possibility
Right.
before we jump to a conclusion.
It's all about creating this chain of logic
Yeah.
where each step depends on the outcome of the previous one.
Okay, I like that.
And that's what gives you so much control over how your code behaves.
Right.
It's like setting up a series of checkpoints,
Yeah.
guiding the program down the right path
Okay.
based on the conditions that you've defined.
This is getting me really excited to see how we can use this in game design.
Oh, yeah. Tons of possibilities.
Like, let's say you are building a game with multiple levels.
Okay.
You could use elif to check if the player has reached a certain score.
Yeah.
Or completed specific tasks
Right.
before unlocking the next level.
Absolutely.
Or imagine a scenario where the dialogue changes
Okay.
based on the player's choices.
Uh-huh.
You could use elif to create branching storylines
Yeah.
that respond dynamically to the player's actions.
It makes the game feel much more immersive and engaging.
I like it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. You could even use elif to control the behavior of enemy characters.
Oh,
So let's say you have an enemy that gets more aggressive when its health is low.
okay.
You could use elif to say, hey, if this enemy's health drops below 25%,
Mm-hmm.
switch its attack pattern to be faster and more unpredictable.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you're breathing life into these characters,
Right.
giving them intelligence and personality through code.
Through code, exactly.
Well, that's what makes programming so creative and rewarding.
Yeah.
You're not just following instructions, you're building worlds and experiences.
I like that.
But with all this power comes complexity.
Yeah, for sure.
How do we keep our code organized and readable when we're dealing with all these elif statements and conditions?
That's a great question. I can already imagine how things could get messy if we're not careful.
For sure.
The source material mentions something called helper functions,
Yes.
which sound like they might be the key to staying organized.
Helper functions are like little code ninjas that specialize in specific tasks.
Right.
They help you break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable chunks, making your code cleaner and easier to understand.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Can you give me an example of how a helper function might work in this screen drawing scenario?
Sure. So imagine you need to draw circles all over the place,
Okay.
but with different sizes and colors depending on the conditions.
Right.
Instead of repeating the same circle drawing code every time,
Yeah, that would get tedious.
you could create a helper function called, let's say, draw circle.
So draw circle would handle all the details of drawing a circle,
Exactly.
like the position, the size, and the color.
Yep. And within your if-elif-else block,
Okay.
you could just call that draw circle function
All right.
and tell it what kind of circle you want.
Oh, okay.
For example, you could say draw circle, left side cyan small,
Uh-huh.
or draw circle middle black medium.
Okay.
Much cleaner than writing out all the individual drawing instructions every single time.
That makes so much sense. It's like having a toolbox full of specialized tools.
Yeah.
You don't need to build a hammer every time you need to drive a nail.
Precisely. And it makes your code more reusable and easier to debug.
Oh, okay.
If you decide to change how circles are drawn,
Right.
you only need to update the code in your draw circle function,
Gotcha.
not in 100 different places throughout your program.
That's brilliant. So
Right.
helper functions are about organization, efficiency, and making our code easier to manage.
Exactly.
But the source material also points out a really tricky question about elif statements
Okay.
that I think highlights just how important it is to understand the order of operations in our code.
You're talking about the question of why the black rings only appear in certain areas.
Yeah.
That's a great example of how the placement of an elif statement can drastically change the outcome.
We've got the screen divided into these sections,
Right.
and the code checks for clicks on the left and the middle and the right. But why doesn't the black ring, which is drawn in the middle section,
Yeah.
overlap with the cyan circle on the left?
It all comes down to the fact that each elif is only evaluated if the conditions before it were false.
Okay.
In this case, the code first checks if the click is on the left side.
Right.
If it is, it draws the cyan circle and moves on.
Yeah.
It never even bothers checking the elif for the middle section.
Uh-huh. So it's like skipping a step in a recipe.
Exactly.
If you've already added the sugar, you don't need to add it again.
Right.
Even if the next step mentions sugar.
And if we had used a regular if statement instead of an elif to check for the middle section,
Okay.
then the black ring would have been drawn regardless of whether the cyan circle was already there,
Oh.
causing an overlap.
So the placement and order of these elif statements are super important.
Very important.
It's not just about what conditions we're checking, but also about when and how we're checking them.
Absolutely. It's like building a delicate chain of dominoes.
Ooh, I like that.
If one domino falls out of place, the whole chain breaks down.
This has been such an eye-opener. I'm starting to see elif statements and helper functions everywhere now.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's like they're the secret ingredients that make all those cool game mechanics and interactions possible.
And that's the beauty of coding.
Right.
Once you learn these fundamental building blocks, you can combine them in endless ways to create something truly unique and amazing.
So let's put on our game developer hats for a minute.
Right. Love it.
Imagine you're creating a game where the player needs to collect certain items to unlock a secret level.
Okay.
How could we use elif to make that happen?
You could set up a series of elif statements to check the player's inventory.
Okay.
For example, the first elif could check if they have the magic key.
Right.
If they do great, they progress to the secret level.
Makes sense.
But if they don't have the key, the next elif could check if they have the ancient map,
Oh, okay.
and so on until you've covered all the necessary items.
And what if you wanted to add another layer of complexity? Let's say the player needs to collect the items, A and D, solve a riddle,
Okay. Yeah.
to unlock the secret level.
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
You could use nested if statements within your elif block.
Ooh.
So the first elif might check for the magic key, if the player has it.
Right.
Then you have another if statement inside
Okay.
that checks if they've solved the riddle.
Oh, I see.
If both conditions are true, boom, they unlock the secret level.
Wow, the possibilities are endless. I'm already starting to brainstorm all sorts of cool game ideas.
I love it. That's what we want.
Yeah, and remember, those helper functions can help you keep your code organized as you add more complexity.
Oh, for sure.
Like you could create a helper function called check inventory
Makes sense.
to handle all that logic of checking for specific items.
Exactly.
This has been such a fantastic deep dive. I feel like I've not only learned a ton about elif statements and helper functions,
Yeah.
but also just gained a deeper appreciation for the power and creativity of coding.
That's what we hope for with every deep dive. to spark your curiosity, ignite your imagination, and empower you to create something amazing.
So to all our listeners out there, whether you're seasoned coders or just starting your journey, remember that every line of code is a step towards building something incredible. Don't be afraid to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from each challenge. Who knows what incredible worlds you might create?